Welcome to my welcome home theory. I'm sorry this has consumed my life. Do I have concrete, irrefutable evidence of all of this? No. Am I basing most of this off of my autism and pattern recognition and my ability to dissect and follow the through lines of most pieces of media? Yes. I will have some evidence, mind you. I'm just saying not everything's gonna be like airlock tight. Okay, let's get into it. First and foremost, I believe the welcome home iconography as a whole is an informational hazard. If you don't know what that means, or if you're not in the SCP fandom, essentially it is information that once known can affect you, mind, body, and spirit, and normally results in you wishing to spread that information to infect others. Think of it as like a virus, but words. I back this up because in the About section of the website, they mention how they received a bunch of documents in colorful envelopes, essentially someone trying to get them to spread it again. As a result, they became obsessive with this TV show, making an entire website and trying to find any scrap of memorabilia that they could get their hands on. Going so far as to contact those within the museum industry and hoping to get a display going to get more people to see it. This is my wildest thing. I think there's two WALL-E darlings. Because if we look at the site itself, as well as some of the photos we have gotten that, while not on the site, are canon, WALL-E can either be perceived as a predatory force and or a victim of something. I wholeheartedly believe that the WALL-E that's being depicted as a victim is actually the creator of the show. There's this one photo where a hand is coming out of WALL-E's mouth, and a lot of people have taken that to mean like, oh, spooky, creepy. I take it as the creator literally trapped inside their creation. That's why a lot of the stuff that paints WALL-E as possibly being a victim is all under the surface of the website, where you have to like tap in and go to like hidden links and stuff. Whereas the stuff that depicts WALL-E as more predatory is all on the surface level. Things like the guest book and the iconic picture of like him with the headless Barnaby. And a lot of people are pointing to Home, that Home is the corrupting force. What if that's supposed to be a representation of the creator's own house? Now, it's not rare to hear tales about a demonic entity haunting a specific set of grounds or possessing a home. What if the concept of home came from the creator's actual house? There's an audio where WALL-E is singing Beautiful Dreamer to Home, and Home makes a noise and WALL-E doesn't know if that's good or bad. But hear me out. What if that's not from the show? What if that's a recording by the creator themselves in their house? And I know some of you may be like, well, WALL-E mentions how that's all Barnaby taught him. Who says that the character Barnaby is not based off of a real-life Barnaby? Because we've seen promotional pictures of the dog Barnaby, and from what I see, he is more of a jokester character, a play on Fozzie from the Muppets. Not really a musician. It's not uncommon for two best friends to have similar creative endeavors and to go in on those with each other. It's not that uncommon for them to also have their own self-insert characters within their creations. And it's not that uncommon for somebody to name the characters off of themselves. With that in mind, if you look at the website, you see the creator actively trying to dissuade us from getting into Welcome Home, from knowing more, whereas the surface level site that is infected with the informational hazard, which it's ironic that everyone's getting obsessed with it right now, seeing as how this is the basis of the horror that's going on in the website, is trying to persuade us to get more involved. And I know some people may be like, well, why would the creator need the occult or demonic entity in order to get its show up and running? And that is because of the characters. Canonically speaking, there are gay and trans characters within this piece of media. Like, within the canon of the website and the Welcome Home show. This was debuted in the late 60s and ended in the mid-70s. In America. And like everyone tee-heed and ha-ha'd about Bert and Ernie, but if they had ever shown like an actual kiss or what have you, Sesame Street would have been ripped off the air, and you can't tell me different. This is a show that had trans characters, had gay characters, had explicitly neurodivergent characters. Honestly, you probably would have had to made a pact with the devil in order to get it on air, especially as a show for children. The creator of this whole ARG clown has mentioned how queer identities are very important within this story. What if the creator of Welcome Home was gay, already finding it hard to find work based on their sexuality, and then finding it even harder based on their ideas, based on the stories they wished to create and the representation they wanted to give? Being denied and rejected and suppressed, they decide to make a pact with the devil. This thing making their property completely and utterly irresistible to others. And obsessive. People feeling ache and pain and terror when they are not being able to be comforted by this series. The creator slowly realizing that their creation is not used to uplift those that have been silenced by the oppressors, but instead it is becoming an oppressor to the most vulnerable part of our population. There's a picture with Julie sitting in a field of flowers, and behind her, it looks like a woman with a sledgehammer. When I saw that, I thought, what if that was Julie's actress? What if she recognized what was happening with the property she was working on and decided to destroy as much of it as she could before it could spread and infect more people? Unfortunately, those efforts seem to be for naught because someone or something out there got fresh people to be infected by this property once more. What they didn't count on, however, is the creator still locked within their creation, trying to get us to stop. And unfortunately, within the world of this ARG, the creator has failed. And we are already obsessed. Anyway, that's just my theory. You can poke holes in it if you want to. Like I said, it's half-baked and it's based on mostly tism and some scant clues. Okay, goodbye.